Hello everyone, Tack here with Call of Duty Zombies Forum with part 2 on our discussion of the zombie finale cutscene and Tag Der Toten and everything that encompasses. So I think this time we're going to discuss the radios, and I think we ought to start with Pablo. Mac, please give me the lowdown on Pablo. Give me what you got, baby.
So Pablo Marinus, if you need a little bit of a reminder, is the fourth test subject of Richtofen, first referenced in, what was it? Kino? I guess you could say, I was gonna say Kino, the blank portrait on the wall, but basically he was a Mexican spy, I presume, and well, all we knew about him was Richtofen took out his spleen and he died. We later learned in Black Ops 3 that he was experimented on, I think, at Der Eisendrache, and he had visions. He was pumped full of 115. And, well, he's back with a brand new track here in Tag Der Toten. He's quite literally come back to life. And these radios take us through quite a trip.
Alright, that's what, day 521? I still don't know how it's possible, but late last year I awoke from a watery grave.
Yeah, that's the one.
What's the next one? He guys says he's, day 3682?
Someone read a dream?
Yep.
I kind of wonder if he, actually ages or not. If he's I wonder if he's in actual purgatory, he's not aging, he's just kind of a ghost, or is he actually aging? Does he eventually die of old age?
Because he's not there at the initial call.
Yeah, he's not there at Call the Dead, but is that because he died of old age, or because he's in his own pocket purgatory dimension?
If
TAG is not. TAG's not in the same time frame as Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead is 2011.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, but we just meant if he's living forever, or there's no. We don't really know what happens to him.
Yeah, because TAG, at least in 1963 or whatever, he's there. But when we play Call of the Dead in 2012, Pablo should technically still be in that lighthouse.
I guess if we go with the Moon theory that Moon caused all the problems, Pablo would have just died in the first run through, right? Okay. So that would have explained why Call of the Dead he's not in Call of the Dead.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, I think we just went real deep on this one.
Damn it, Tack! I told you to pick the one radio where we would not go deep.
Sorry. All right, what do you all want to mention about the Pablo radios, and then we can move on.
Can I just say that they just break the cycle story, because the way they break the cycle doesn't make any sense. Pablo goes back in time to help Richtofen break the cycle, but the only reason he's able to break the cycle, go back in time, is because the cycle's already broken. So it's that's a paradox in of itself. So how did the cycle break in the first place if Pablo didn't teleport? You understand? That's just, I
would guess that would mean the cycle isn't broken, and because it's still the paradox, right?
I guess, but I thought the cycle was supposed to break. I don't know. It's like the starting of a new cycle, but that new cycle can only start if the first cycle broke in the first place. The cycle only broke because the cycle was broken in the first place.
The cycle is something that has been used so much in zombies, and I don't think it ever has any definition or really what constitutes the cycle.
The breaking of the cycle caused the breaking of the cycle, but the cycle was already broken when it was broken in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
yes, yes, I do. You're so clear.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on Pablo?
Do we have a time for? Do we have a point in Black Ops 4 at which the cycle is broken?
Is it? See, it's never explicitly stated.
Blood of the Dead.
Yeah,
Blood of the Dead. I think when Richtofen comes out of his little ice pod and kills the warden and whatever, then he's like, the cycle is broken.
So it's possible that Pablo he still thinks he's in the cycle, maybe. Because the four in the cell don't realize the cycle is broken until Primus arrives. So it could be that Pablo himself, he thinks that the cycle is continuing.
Can we not underestimate the fact that outside of Call of the Dead is the planet Mars, so there probably is some sort of fucking purgatory isolationist something happening here. So, yeah,
Is
yes,
that canon?
I'm sure.
Is that canon? That's a dumb question. Is what
I
is
know.
this supposed to be
You
taken?
don't want it to be.
seriously?
I
The
don't know.
question is not when ist Tag der Toten. It is what world ist Tag der Toten.
Oh God.
Yeah. So does it bounce? Because that seems to be the assumption, right? That it somehow is almost like a what is it? Schrodinger's cat. It's like on Moon or on Mars or who is it? Phobos, right? And Shangri-La's on.
Schrodinger's Phobos.
Yeah. They exist on
Right,
Earth.
it's on the moon.
So
Yeah.
Shangri-La is. That's an interesting one.
Oh.
Shangri-La is in a quantum existence, perhaps, in
Hey.
the quantum state.
All this started and ended
I
on
don't
a
know
moon.
what that means.
It could be both here and there at the same exact time.
Yeah, it's
Well, I don't know. The Shangri-La loading screen makes it seem like it travels, right? The
Yeah.
tornado.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
interesting
Let's
though.
let's not get too embroiled in the Shangri-La discussion. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
we just
Pablo.
Keep this
We
to
just-
tag.
you stop
I
running
just-
figure eights on this jump pad here.
I just wanted to say it's kind of interesting thematically speaking that all of this mess. I mean, again, it's not officially confirmed that it was caused by Moon, but like the first big finale happened on a moon, and now it ends on a moon as well. If it's on Phobos, right?
Wait, are you
Right.
saying? Wait, you're saying Call of the Dead is on Phobos?
Yes, isn't that the
or at least
Don't-
Tag Der Toten is on.
yeah,
Phobos.
it's Tag Der
Don't
Toten,
bring
yeah.
that crap in this chat.
But how else?
Yeah.
How else do we see Mars?
What else? What else are you? What do you suggest, Hunter?
Oh my God.
So I didn't
else?
subscribe.
I don't want this. I don't write the story. You think I want this, Hunter?
Right?
You think I want us to be on Phobos?
I started the Mars story, and
I was
don't
going to say
want
Tax
this.
over there just like grinning with glee because he just loves the chaos that just got thrown
I'm
into this.
telling you, I'm telling you, if
unintentional-
it wasn't for Tack, this would have been just a stupid joke Jimmy just had, a one-off joke, but Tack perpetuated the cycle. Now we're here.
Yep.
man.
We are here because that is a great feeling. Must I?
You just
Let my-
snowballed it into this.
You snowball.
Right,
Hold square to pick up snowballs, by the way, guys. Hold square.
Whole square.
We
That was
started
the-
there, and now
Or-
the final map. We look at Mars.
It-
Good times.
Is the
I
fact
feel
that we
like-
use snowballs supposed to be an allegory for the fact that all of this is snowballed into just one big yellow
Yeah.
snowball of Pablo's pee?
Wow.
It's-
Which, by the way,
They've got a weird obsession with pee in this.
they do, and I don't understand. I looked at the steps for the yellow snowballs, and I don't understand how it progresses. I love it actually, because it's one of those sort of like,
memorable.
yeah, it's not. Well, it's not. We're not collecting souls or anything. Well, no, that's right. No, I take it back. We are collecting. I just played
I
myself
love it.
there.
Well, I guess it's like you have snow, and then you have a crazy, well, not crazy, but a hermit who lives at the top of the lighthouse, and it's like, well, where's he going to get his food? Where's he going to go to the bathroom? And then I guess 2 and 2 go together, and it's like, now we're going to have an Easter egg step involving pee. So,
Yeah, which I gotta say I like.
fine
it.
with.
Robbed with it. Like I think
No,
that's great.
to me, I just have a different take. Like, they had such little resources, they couldn't make something epic, so they're like, well, we got this.
I keep seeing,
This is kind of a step.
yeah, I keep seeing like some of the like the multiplayer gestures and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, this is either was created for zombies first or multiplayer first, and they're just using them because I think there was already a snowball throwing animation, right, for
Yeah.
one of the previous things, and
Well, Blackout had so I see the logic in that. Not bad.
Do you guys
I'll
want to
be-
talk about, like, the next radios?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
was,
What?
I'm
go ahead.
really sorry to talk about snowballs, but that was the one thing I did get today and was throwing snowballs. When you headshot them, there's sort of like a little like electrical spark or something that happens. I don't know if that's significant, but I thought that was kind of weird. With the snowball, maybe it's just to
That's
signify
funny.
that you got a headshot, but whatever.
No, I think that's actually a great old fashioned theory point. Like we always
Love
used to
it.
say that like the blood had 115 in it, and blood is basically what keeps them alive. I mean, that's no surprise. It's kind of like blood is a big theme throughout this entire thing. But yeah, I mean, if there's some sort of electrical current that's being maintained by the existence of 115 in their circulatory systems, then you introduce water into that equation and blow their head off with it. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
I mean, it's just, Yeah. It's like the butterfly knifing thing that was in Grief, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh my god, that was weird.
forgot about that. I still say that we still need a Duddy's a Massacre Grief. But anyways, I won't go that direction. That's an entirely different podcast too.
I was actually just about in my head. I was heading in that direction for this radio I was reading, but nope.
Campaign characters versus like 935.
Mac, what do you
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I cut it out.
Mac, what do you think the next radios we should move to? Like maybe Gina, or what's easy?
I think we should talk about Jebediah Brown.
All right, here we go.
My man Jebediah. Let me tell you a little story about Jebediah Brown. He was born in an American town, now located in Angola. Don't worry, we'll get there. We got about it.
That's actually really like apropos the way he's. Don't worry, we'll get there. How we get there?
Jebediah Brown, who stuck his mother in a machine. Don't worry, we'll get there. Jebediah Brown. Jebediah Brown. So this is like my favorite radio series because it's just so like, it just has so much information and is so ridiculous. So we're introduced to Jebediah Brown, the inventor of the Pack-a-Punch machine. He's an old American Western blacksmith, and he was contacted by the Angers, presumably keepers, to build the Pack-a-Punch machine. His mother died from a zombie attack because they have 115 in the mines, and Jebediah and his 115-induced delusions, which I think we can all relate to, stuck his mother's corpse into the prongs of the Pack-a-Punch machine, and out came a beautiful young ghost. And
wait, is that really what happened?
That's the explanation.
No, I'm not just riffing. That's what happened. He stuck his dead mother in the Pack-a-Punch machine, and that's the reason we have a ghost and buried.
And out came a beautiful. Does he say it was a beautiful young ghost? Or
yeah, he says she looks younger, and yeah.
Okay.
So
here you go. Here's I see before my eyes. I see an apparition, a spirit. It looks just like her, only when she was younger.
Honestly, at first I thought that was really ridiculous, but the more I thought about it in a kind of morbid way, it makes sense because it's like I don't know, I'd imagine putting a corpse into the Pack-a-Punch machine grinds everything down, right? Yeah. So the only thing that would be left would be like a soul. And it's like, that's what happens, I guess. It's
like, I can't like get a specific quote out of my head, but I feel like this has definitely been like a jokey quote before in past maps. Like, I wonder if I put myself in the Pack-a-Punch machine.
I was about to say,
like, I'm positive that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Toffin tried to insert himself into the Pack-a-Punch machine, but it didn't work.
Oh, wow.
I think there was a word.
It's because he wasn't dead and he couldn't crumple his dead mother and have him put it in.
The key is you have to crumple them in.
Did he wait until? Oh my god! Wait, I was going morbid here with that. Like, it raises so many freaking questions.
Yeah, which is why that's what it's my sort of explanation is that I guess it charges the soul or whatever is left because everything is like grinded down, and that's like the only thing that I guess reacts with the machine, where like the metal I guess is more like conductive in the weapons. But the soul is the only thing. I don't know, because it's just such an absurd sight to think.
It's just such an absurd. I love it.
I just love the way he explains it. Like, I don't know what came over me, but I just took my mother and I stuck her in that machine, and
he like kicked it in there, like had to like push it through.
I almost got my foot stuck, but I got it out right in time.
Wait, did he say that?
No.
Okay, see, I don't know what part is Mac's translation and what part is like the actual, because all of it's just as preposterous. I got to give you 5 stars for a good old fashioned CODS try there, Matt. Though on your theory.
Yeah, but what else happened to the Jebediah Brown radios? Oh, he created the Garthen device, but he also created the Vril rod.
No, yes, okay, yes.
There is a schematic on the map of the golden rod, and it has Jebediah Brown and the name in the top.
Yeah, right, exactly. So in the radios, he talks about how, he creates the Vril vessel, which is growing on me actually as a thing. I originally was not. I just wanted there to like the return of the Vril rod. I did not.
Right. Just keep it one thing.
Yeah, I did not just feel like there needed to be a vessel, but I don't know, whatever. It's I'm getting over
reference
it.
Classified.
Can I insert something in here real quick?
Yeah.
So this is the first time we've actually had Vril referenced since Black Ops 1. By name, right? Isn't it? They call it the Vril device.
I mean,
Yeah.
Vril,
Nikolai
yes.
calls it the Vril device when you collect.
Yeah,
it.
no, it's definitely Vril.
They definitely do say Vril. I'm just trying to think if there's an earlier.
In Black
I was
Ops
thinking
2.
like, do they reference Vril in the timeline?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, I guess you'd have to look where the Shangri-La and all of them take place in the timeline, right? When they say the Rod in Call of the Dead, do they explicitly say Vril Rod in the timeline?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
do.
don't know.
They do. Well, in the timeline,
But in other maps, I guess I don't.
I think we've just been without any reference to the Vril since Black Ops 1. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
they do call it the Vril
Just the
device
implicit
in the
stuff with the
timeline.
keepers.
Yeah,
Oh, they do?
They call it. Yes, I'm looking at it now. They call it the Vril device in the timeline.
We
That's
still
corrected.
and then the Vril gun. I got no explanation, but
I
clone.
can't believe that didn't return.
Yeah, that really sucks.
I don't know. I just say clones
That's
or
what
something like
all
that.
these things that in Call of the Dead that I feel like they went away. The VR11. I guess we got Yena stuff, but I know we've talked about it before.
It's
and I'm
almost like the
what
things
else?
I wanted them to expound upon, they didn't really. Like, I wanted them to talk about why is George. I wanted them to talk about the
Oh my
VR.
god, let's not.
I wanted to talk about the VR11. They didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
At least
They
that.
didn't even bring the scavenger back, which
Yeah,
sucked.
they didn't bring the scavenger back. I mean, they talked about Hyena. They didn't talk about his scavenger, though.
So
Right.
And then I guess I did want to learn about the test subjects and experiments. Cloning, I did not want to know about that.
I didn't give a shit about cloning. Man.
yeah. But at
That was
least I
so
don't know.
That was so random and tacked on.
I
Go
go ahead, Tag.
ahead. No, you go.
Oh man, now I've lost my train of thought.
Uh,
Go ahead, Tag.
yeah. No, I just can't. I mean, I guess right. It makes sense that you could think with the cloning plants in Zetsubo, like, okay, this could be something that happens. But it's the point I was like making to you, Mac, earlier. I feel like when I was in any like writing class, they would say, "Don't introduce a new idea in the conclusion." And so like here we are with like clones all of a sudden.
Like that's never been like foreshadowed or like hinted at in the other Call of the Dead map.
Was that sort of like a community thing that there were? I mean, there was some like super soldier experiment.
Super
idea
soldier,
that,
sure,
yeah.
but cloning, no.
That's the whole thing. You do not. You figure out how to make people into super soldiers, and then you just do that to a lot of people. You don't like make 4 people into super soldiers and then figure out how to clone them. Like what the?
This is a classic failure of
I can't
Occam's
even.
razor right here.
It's oh my god, it's like pretty much like you create Captain America. This is brilliant. What shall we do with the serum? We will clone Captain America 1,000 times over.
I think
Why?
the problem is it requires a lot more like explanation than needed. But didn't we talk? No, we didn't talk about this in a podcast. I think it was when the what was it? The Easter egg was happening. That if it's like what was it? The 4 characters are immune, and they're the only ones that are able to be cloned. Otherwise, everyone else would just become a zombie. Like that seems like the only reasonable explanation for why you would have clones. Otherwise, you just clone.
I would forgive them for introducing this element so late if we actually got to fight a Tank Dempsey with an arm for a head. Then I would say this is totally worth it if that was the case.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie. I think Tank Dempsey is dumb enough as is that he may as well have an arm for a head.
Oh my god.
I gotta say, I guess I'm a little more. I mean, the clone thing is still a little ridiculous, but I guess I can at least see the jumps and how we get there, and if there is like some type of immunity. But the one unforgivable thing is how do you introduce clones and then they're not like the special infected or whatever that you have to fight during the map? It's like okay, so this is nothing.
Like, there's only like 3 canisters in the little cloning facility or whatever, and then really that's it. The clones, they don't really do much with the clones.
like you don't do that. You don't tease clones, especially in any type of zombie game. And then they're clones of the main characters, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be the boss, the like perfect, because they could have explained it there. It's like, oh, all the other times everyone has just come back from the dead as a zombie, but these 4 were immune, and this is what we're going to base our army on, and then that's the final boss, is like super soldier.
I'm like so slow, but I just realized you said like the VR11 is a cloning thing because it turns everyone into the same person.
That's the only upside, yeah.
Well, see, also the VR11 like was so due this map because, I mean, for goodness sakes, what the heck? This is what I always say. Peter McCain?
It's the
that's all I had to say. Because the point was he just like out of the blue, just like lays 20 years in a swamp, and then here he is. He's back in the second to last map, and you're like, okay, that was really preposterous. But we're gonna explain it in the next one, right? With the gun that brings zombies back to full health, as a human being, that's gonna come back for sure to explain.
That's why I think either the VR11 is using the shard, yeah.
Well, and then they don't do that, and then they bring Pablo back to life out of fucking nowhere,
and the VR11 never shows up.
Exactly.
Didn't they? I mean, this kind of dampens the clone theory, or I don't know, maybe it does or doesn't, because it just adds another element of like how do things exactly work. But I thought the shard is what brought him back to life. But like, can the shard just do that regardless, or like, do you need to be immune? Peter McCain. Yeah, right. Like, I thought this shard could bring people back and not be a zombie, but is that because they're immune, or is that because it's the shard, or is it because it has a human soul in it now?
I think it's the shard.
Yeah, because it has a soul or something?
I guess.
I don't know. Also, I'm sorry.
No,
I just want to say the baby weapon. We never got any explanation on that anywhere, right? The baby gun.
There's a slight explanation, but that's about all it is. Like, I knew Maxis was working on such a device, but I had no idea he finished it.
And it caused them to go to classified, but like exactly how I don't know.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that one coming.
I forgot that. What?
And this time it was who fired it? It was Dempsey that fired it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Dempsey that fired, and Dempsey says in at some point in Classified that it was Nikolai who fired it, I think. I don't know if he's just passing off blame, but at any rate, it's all over the place. And honestly, I keep saying this like I'm frustrated by it, and I am frustrated, but I will only continue to be frustrated if we have no return of the Nazi zombie storylines, because I can't call it the Ether storyline because Ether is over, right? So what I got to call it, the Nazi zombie storyline, because we're going back, we're talking like this specific, universe, this lore.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of dark when you think about, Sam and Eddie. They're going to be bringing their little Nazi time ideologies into that new world.
Yeah, did we even stop to realize that Nazis were the only ones who survived this? That's pretty. Though it's not fair to say they're Nazis, I guess. I mean, Max he made a convenient alliance.
Eddie is right?
With the Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, with the Nazi. Yeah, so that doesn't make you a Nazi, right?
Oh, Hunter, did you?
I just allied with them.
I'm kidding.
Hunter, I don't know if you noticed this,
it
but
makes you an opportunist.
But like, Hunter, this is driven Rad completely insane. But in the radios, Richtofen mentions that the Chancellor wants his undead army, despite it being months after World War II is over.
Okay, so I wanted to what was it, the thing that I came up with is that it's like a holdout group, because the whole Odessa conspiracy about how it was the organization that helped funnel the Nazis out of Germany and Europe towards the end of the war. So that's what I'm going with, is that it's some like resistance group, I don't know, maybe in Antarctica or Argentina.
And they still have a chancellor who still has a bunch of
601.
funding.
Yeah, well, the funding, I mean, this is, what was it? The Call of the Dead, or Tag Der Toten, is, when exactly does it take place?
I mean, Tag Der 60s,
because
probably
mid to late 60s.
Sorry, the radios take place like right at the very end of the war, right?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's like you could. I mean, it's a base in Russia that's well removed from all the fighting that's going on, and To me, yeah, it's a little weird, but I guess if you sort of establish that the Nazis have like these secret bases and holdouts, there might be like sort of like some type of criminal syndicate or something. They might have
Yeah,
some
but
way
it's
to
like the
kind
Chancellor. One, there is no Chancellor. There's just a Führer, and that guy's dead by this point. Hitler is dead.
I think there
not
was
still the
someone.
Chancellor during World War II? Was that not still his rank?
After.
Well, I mean, I think the Chancellor was still his rank, but still, Hitler was dead by the time these radios are being done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was weird though was I think.
Or was he dead? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's
Go ahead.
yeah. No, that's what we talked about. It's a,
No,
it's
he was
clone
zombie Hitler.
It's a
Zombie
clone
Hitler boss.
Oh
But-
my god.
There was. Oh, I forget who it was. I can't think of that. Why am I misremembering? No, like not Hegel. But there were two people after that I think took place. They were the Chancellor, and then it was like by the I think before August or July. I think that's when they like finally surrendered, and then it was under like Allied control. But so that's why it's like yeah. So at least you sort of have this succession of this is the Chancellor of Germany, which at least leads me to believe if you kind of tie into the idea like a government in exile. I mean, again, this is like way too much explanation for probably they just screwed up the timeline, but
That's such a big mistake, though. Like,
Yeah.
it's talking about the Chancellor, like, long after World War II is over.
I'm
That's
just
why
gonna say government in exile.
That's why I'm saying like this, like if we continue the Nazi zombie storyline, this is great. Like all of this is great. All of the loose ends that have still been untied, great. This is a phenomenal theory material. Like this is what we come from. This sort of loose end. And with history, the conspiracy theories. Oh, Hitler's not dead. He got put on a U-boat and shipped off to Antarctica, Siberia. Aha! You know these kinds of things we can work with. But if it's the end, then
It's
what?
gonna be like there's gonna be like a secret room on TAG with like Hitler's cloned body.
They're trying to bring it back
The
to life.
Chancellor had me do one last thing.
Oh, see, I was mixing it up. I was reading. I was looking at philosophy stuff earlier. It was what was it? After Hitler, it looks like it was Goebbels, and then what was it? I'm not Lutzgraf Schrin von. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, he was the one that finally surrendered. So there were two people after. I don't know why.
Okay.
So yeah. So there is like some weird thing of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so much to work with here. Honestly, I mean, I think what we do as a community is we continue to work, like because we're gonna have these people who come around and who be like, it's over, stop talking about it. You have these people in everything. That's always like, the story's over, stop hanging on, stop talking about it. It's time to move on, you know. But I mean, I don't. It's like if you look back at it, and like there are tons of classic games out there, you know, their theorists continue, and that's what makes them great. There are still forums out there that are dedicated to games that ended a long time ago, and it doesn't mean that there's not, you know, something to be enjoyed there and something to be expounded upon there. And it's what it is part of the game for us. It has been from the beginning, just, you know, digging deeper into it. And so we continue. And if Treyarch ever wants to reboot it, bring it back, whatever that means. People keep saying reboot and meaning something weird, and I don't know what they mean by it. I don't understand it at least. Then I say let's go for it. By all means, we'll have all the paperwork out there, and Treyarch can just pick and choose whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was funny is sorry not to take your really lively and beautiful and poetic note and smash it and take a poopy on it. No, that's what was funny when so much of their lore back in the World at War Black Ops universe was so historically based, we could research stuff and come up with new theories. And then once they came up with their own material, then just felt like they had their own handle on the story, and there was all of a sudden it became like deciphering what they meant. There was no I mean, I don't know, maybe there was suggesting new things, but I don't know, like my Manchuria thing, that would never I don't know, that would never happen today, it feels like. I don't know.
I feel like the closest thing that we came to in Black Ops 3 to doing, yeah, what you're talking about, like what we loved back in the day was what's the Japanese group?
Division 9?
Division 9, but what
the
was
original
one?
one, Unit 731.
Unit 731, which was Division 9, presumably. So I mean,
because there are 8 divisions, and so the 9th one would be the fictional one.
Right.
so it was there, but it wasn't what it used to. It was so fictionalized, so just bundled that.
Bundled.
Yeah, we couldn't really go to history to find anything else about it. It was an island fractured in time.
Yeah, but c'est la vie.
So, I guess to really ruin it, so what if it's the end of the Ether storyline, but not the Dark Ether storyline?
That's okay. Let's wrap up on this point. Let's talk about how everything got banished to the Dark Ether, and yet somehow this whole problem started because people got from the Dark Ether to places they shouldn't. I don't understand.
It's just saving it for another time for it to, like, create a whole nother storyline.
Seriously.
Or, like, maybe it's like a case of, like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, you got, like, 3 layers, right? You got Agartha, you got the center, and then you got the Dark Ether. It's all kind of connected, though, like a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer. But because it's all connected, the Dark Ether, they can kind of poop stuff out into the middle. Instead, you push everything downwards, and now everything is Dark Ether. Now there's nothing to poop out from because there's no holes, nothing's connected. It's just to the side.
Except
we have been through like 3 or 4 Mac accents over this last few episodes.
After this podcast, I'm gonna draw it out in paint, and then you'll understand. You'll all understand.
Do it, dude. Do it. We'll make it the thumbnail.
I'm thinking, like, before this all happened, before the ending, it was like the human centipede. It was like a centipede, right? There is no centipede now. There is only one Dark Ether.
Oh,
well, at least Victus could try to escape it.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna wrap up here. Matt, give me your final thoughts on. Well, no, never mind. You've only played one time. We're skipping you, Mac. You go ahead and give your 10-second impression on Tag and what you'll be taking from it.
Did you say Mac or Matt?
I think it was me first because I got skipped because I only played it once.
Yeah, he
so
got
you're
canceled though.
Yeah.
got banished to the Dark Ether.
What is my impression of Tag?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much the epitome of zombies.
All right, I feel that. Hunter,
That's
you go.
pretty well said. Yeah.
Holla.
Yeah, I think it feels. I'm pretty happy with it. I felt like this was going to be the end for me. If this is really the end of Ether, like, do I come back? Like, zombies doesn't intrigue me. I'm not into chaos, and I'm glad some people are, but it's not for me. Like, if Ether's gone, I guess maybe I'll stick around with CODs and help CODs if I can, but it's not really going to be my thing. But they have left so many loose ends open. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to stick around. I'm going to be coming around. I'm going to continue making theories and stuff. There's so much.
That's what I think. I know, like you said, I think it's. I think it'd be really fun to take this and in the off season to do something with it. Like you said, the community doesn't have to die just because the game is over. So
Amen.
yeah, they left plenty of loose ends. So
yeah,
we shall see. All right, Hunter, close us out.
All right, folks. Well, thanks again for tuning in. If you stuck with us this long, as always, we appreciate it. You're a real G. Stick around and join us on the forums, CallOfDutyZombies.com. We've been around since the beginning. CallOfDutyZombies.com. The Call of Duty Zombies forums. It's been here since the beginning. You can go back and find those posts from 2009.
We'll be there at the end. It is the end.
We're still here and we're still going strong. So join us out there. Let's hear your theories and let's chat about this. Let's keep this community alive and vibrant.
And wait for our next video on the forest.
Yeah, right. There's so much more to talk about. So we'll be back soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Podcast Der Toten. Thanks for joining me, guys. Take care, all. This is Call of Duty Zombies.
Bye, guys.
Last hurrah!